morning from Mantown. It is bone dry here at a sold-out Camp Randall Stadium for 4-0 Iowa. And 19th ranked Wisconsin, they come in at 3-1. It's ESPN College Football, presented by Cars.com. And what do you say we get this bad boy started? It's opening day in the Big Ten. And Brock will figure out how the West will be won today.
We really will. This is a perfect day. There's some chill in the air. There's going to be a good little breeze. It's going to affect, I think, both of these coaches in the special teams phase. These are two very evenly matched ball clubs. And when you look at the Big Ten West, you're absolutely right. It's the opener in conference play, but this will determine who's left standing at the end of November. I really do believe it. It's wide open in the West. There's a lot of good teams. There's not elite great teams, and both the Hawkeyes and Badgers are going to learn a lot about one another today.
Wisconsin has won the toss, and they will elect to receive. Wind could be a factor. We're gusting at some 14 miles an hour. Better than 80,000 on hand for the 89th meeting between Iowa and Wisconsin, a series that dates back to 1894. And the highly coveted Heartland Trophy will be up for grabs.
You love trophies, don't you?
I'm a big trophy guy.
You know what, I could tell over the last 48 hours spending time around you. You're like James Harrison and certificates of participations and trophies.
It's not the Stanley Cup, it's the Heartland Trophy. And we are underway from Madison, Wisconsin. And the kickoff is fumbled immediately by Latrell Jamerson. And fortunately, he's able to recover. Third member of the crew, here's Shannon Spake.
Well, Steve, Brock, certainly the rivalry you already mentioned, it's the main theme coming into this game. Paul Chryst has spoken about it with his players all week long. And during warm-ups, they were playing highlights from previous Iowa-Wisconsin games, and all of the Wisconsin players were lined up watching the Jumbotron. Pride is on the line here as well. All week, Wisconsin's heard how Iowa is so much like them, and I was told they want to go out and prove that they are a little bit better.
Tough starting field position. They'll start at the 16, send the man in motion, and hand it off up the middle. The starting running back is Dare Ogunbowale. He takes the handoff. Jaleel Johnson brings him down after a short game.
One of the more experienced starters in the Big Ten Conference. 4 years of starting, but some injuries in between. I'll tell you this, Joel Stave, very, very happy to have Paul Chryst back running the show. They have similar demeanors, very, very similar personalities. And Chryst leaning on the redshirt senior to really be the voice of this team.
On 2nd down and 8. Stave throwing and able to complete. And he's got enough for the first down at Alex Erickson, the leading receiver from a year ago. And they'll move the 6.
One parallel that Shannon was alluding to is a lot of the veteran players as well. And these are the guys that are going to define the outcome of this game. Stave, the quarterback, Erickson, the leading receiver. This is a senior class. It's very dominant on the other side for the Iowa Hawkeyes as well. And I think you're going to see plenty of those easy, short completions for both squads today.
On 1st down and 10 now. Handoff, it's Ogunbowale again. Miles Traylor came up to make the stick after the gain of 5. Derek Watt had a good block.
Not overwhelming in points. In fact, there's probably going to be more points scored in the first quarter between Texas Tech and Baylor than what we're going to see through 4 quarters today. Ball control, time of possession, fullbacks, tight ends, old school Big Ten play today.
You say fullback? What's a fullback? Here's Taiwan Deal. And Jaleel Johnson comes up to make the stop. And that'll put him back in 3rd and long after a gain of 1. Deal rushed for 147 yards a week ago and 2 scores against Hawaii.
It's a big game for him. He's unlike these redshirt seniors. He's a redshirt freshman that's going to get an opportunity to really prove to coaching staff and peers that he could be the go-to back that Wisconsin so covets in their scheme.
Of course, they wanted Corey Clement to be the guy. Sports hernia surgery. We'll get into that as the afternoon progresses. And here, under pressure, completing across the middle. And it's Robert Wheelwright for another Wisconsin 1st down.
Well, good poise and patience from Stave right there. Not how it's drawn up. 2 players actually collide, but enough protection and enough poise. And Joel's an interesting guy for me to study and watch. because when you've played as much ball as he has for 4 years in his career, people know the warts. They know some of the challenges, and he's out to prove them wrong this year.
Off to a good start here today. Approaching midfield of 45. Quick throw out into the flat. Able to hook up with Jordan Frederick there, and it's another Badger first down.
And there's redshirt senior to redshirt senior, two friends. That's a designed run play, and at any time and the opportunity calls for it, Stave's able to get his eyes up, make that connection with his receivers out on the perimeter in that one-on-one, and move the chains. The exact kind of ball possession drive here that they script their first 15 plays that Coach Chris was after.
Two tight ends here for Wisconsin. Single setback is deal. And again, it's Stave feeling confident and throwing on the run. And that time, beyond the reach of Jazz Peavy. Gonna bring up a 2nd and 10.
About as even-keeled as you're going to find in college football as a head coach to sit down with, and Paul Chryst, to watch his demeanor on the sidelines, to watch him in pregame. There's no surprise to me that the folks here in Wisconsin excited to have one of their own back, and just temperament and mood and composure so fits what this program's been built upon.
Out of the gun here, Stave. Quick throw again able to complete. It's Wheelwright for his 2nd catch of the late morning here. Gain of 10 on the play.
Taking a shot that time with Stave with the safety blitz. Iowa's not a crew that you're going to see a lot of exotic pressures from, but you will see some one-on-ones outside, and that's up against Desmond King. He's the best cover guy for the Iowa Hawkeyes. We saw it earlier to the far side, the comeback, the outbreaking route fall incomplete. I love the call, come right back to it, to the shorter side of the field for yet another completion.
Well into Iowa territory now on 1st down and 10. And they hand it off to Ogunbowale. And he's right out at the 30-yard line. Are you surprised at the balance here, the run pass? You expect a lot more run early?
No, this is exactly what they want to do. They want to, both of these teams today, imperative, that old football term you hear a lot, to stay on schedule. Neither of them have game breakers on the perimeter. You feel great about where they pass and catch and run and breaking tackles. So play conservatively and stay on schedule.
2nd and 7. Inside handoff to the receiver, Reggie Love. And he's dropped at the 28-yard line. That time Desmond King came up to make the stop after a gain of 2.
And here you go. And this is going to be the down and distance all day. Two very evenly matched teams. Statistically speaking, it's pretty incredible, in fact, coming through the month of September, how similar they are defensively. So it comes down to situational football. Which quarterback, veteran quarterback's going to be better in the red zone and 3rd downs in moments just like this one right here.
Against the blitz, too. Blitz has not been Stave's friend. Let's see if there's dialed up pressure here on 3rd down and 5. Looks like they're just rushing 4, and that pass is completed. No, they're going to say he dropped it. Wheelwright came up with it, but the immediate call from the officials was they never had control.
And he didn't. That's the right call. And there you see the activity of Desmond King, their veteran corner. Been a 3-year starter, and he is all over Wheelwright right there. That was a well-thrown ball. That pass was good enough to move the chains, and instead it'll bring out Rafael for the field goal.
Gagliagnoni, thanks for leaving that for me, Park. 46-yard attempt. I'll take the last name, you take the first. And from 46 yards away, it is up, and it is good. That's a fine welcome to the team there, Heward. I see why Wischusen says such nice things about you. Wisconsin on the board. They lead 3-0. Back in Madison, 3-0 in favor of the home team. Solid first drive by Wisconsin. 12 plays, 56 yards. Took just over 5 minutes off the clock. And we'll get our first crack at Iowa's offense now. Jack Russell set to kick it away. And Desmond King is back deep for the Buckeyes. And again, with the windy conditions, need a holder for the kickoff. Kick is fielded by King on the far side. Out across the 20 and stumbles past the 30 and out at the 32. Well, it's great to be teamed by, along with Rafael Heward here. If you're looking for 5 wide and spreading it out, you've got the wrong channel on. We're going to see a fullback and sometimes 2 in the same play.
Yeah, you used to work these Big Ten games in your previous lifetime, and you're right, tight ends and fullbacks and ball control, and these are 2 incredibly similar teams. That's what you will see throughout this afternoon, both in scheme and technique and fundamentals, and because of it, it's going to come down to a play or 2 that will define this game.
Big stick on defense for Wisconsin. Joe Schobert was there to make the big play, along with TJ Edwards.
And he's the best player on this field. We sat in the room yesterday. It was kind of fun with a lot of the NFL scouts. And as far as just guys that make a difference, and he's #1 in America in tackles for loss, now 10.5 on the season because of the instincts and the speed that he just displayed.
-2 on that last play, so the Hawkeyes come out throwing here to try to make up for it. And Mike Vanderberg is the receiving end there from CJ Beathard. Vanderberg will be one of the go-to guys now, and we're looking for some impact players when Iowa has the ball.
Well, no surprise. You saw 2 of these 3 in the first 2 snaps of the game. Vanderberg's going to carry the load. No Tavon Smith today. Didn't even make the trip. An injury to the Iowa receiver means the leading receiver Vanderberg is going to get more looks and touches. And Schobert and Beagle, 2 guys off the edge in their 3-4 scheme. They're the outside linebackers and really good in pass rush. Dominant players off the edge.
3rd and 5, getting loud a little bit here in Madison. Out of the shotgun. Beathard will take the snap. Good pocket for him to step into and fire and complete. What a catch by Vanderberg. Coming back to the ball, beating Darius Hillary.
You will see an awful lot of Vanderberg, and he is right in the slot here, and he's just going to take it vertically. And there's a real relationship between quarterback and wide receiver. You could tell they have spent an immense amount of time off the field. He's covered, and that's one of those back shoulder throws that Beathard sees the space. That's against the veteran Hillary, the redshirt senior, but the go-to guy, and I can circle him all afternoon. 25 catches coming in, 26, and he's going to get even more today. Wouldn't surprise me if it's a double-digit day for Vanderberg.
That play was good for 20. Now back under center, and Beathard will hand it off to LaShawn Daniels Jr. TJ Edwards comes up for his 2nd stop of this early game.
And you see a commitment by both the Hawkeyes and Badgers defensively to put enough bodies, enough artillery around the line of scrimmage. You shouldn't see gaping lanes. Both of these teams want to make these quarterbacks one-dimensional. Wisconsin does it with an odd front. They play that 3-4 front with very active linebackers. Iowa does it with 4 down defensive linemen and very active safeties, but taking the run away, both top 15 in America coming into this one.
Beathard out of the gun. Steps up and throws. It was pass, incomplete. Could not hook up with Jermanique Smith off his fingertips.
And he's the true freshman. He's one of the young pups. Kirk Ferentz is old school in a lot of different ways. He loves to redshirt his guys, rather play him as 21 and 22-year-old men than that very common trend around college football. And that's play freshmen. A year ago, Tennessee played over 20 true freshmen. Iowa played 3. Jermanique, one of the rare ones, but it's a necessity. No Tavon Smith means you need some freshmen every once in a while to step up. And I promise you, stepping up is what Wisconsin's going to do in their pass rush here on 3rd down. Key pressures, man-to-man, make Iowa beat you one-on-one, something they've not particularly shown well.
And good pocket for him and completed. And the coverage could not be any tighter on Matt Vanderberg, and it's still good enough to move the sticks.
And they move Vanderberg around, but he is most comfortable in the slot. You saw the back shoulder throw earlier. There is no separation, but Beathard, because of his velocity. This is a kid that's not familiar to a lot of people, CJ Beathard. Just 5 starts in his career, but he is 5-0, and they've got a lot of belief in him in Iowa City. When you've got a difference maker at quarterback, and he's a redshirt junior, Kirk feels like he has one, and throws like that indicative of it.
Here's one of the great matchups for you. Red zone offense, red zone defense. And they'll hand it off to Kanziri for the short game there. Keep in mind, this Wisconsin defense is the only team in the country that has not allowed a touchdown over the past 3 weeks. Now, you can say what you want about the competition, but the fact is they haven't given up a touchdown in the last 3 games.
Sure instills a lot of confidence. Now, Alabama ran on these guys, and they pushed them around, and Derrick Henry ran all over the place. But you're right, been a sense of pride the last 3 weeks. The big true freshman there in the middle, 65, also helps clog things up.
You mean Olive Sangapolu?
That's exactly who I mean.
I can see how this afternoon is going to go. Here's 2nd and 6 now. Handoff. Kanziri is the workhorse. And he's shy of the first down. Brings up a 3rd down and short. Interesting part of the field here. It gets to be decision time. Gain of 4.
Well, there's 2 things they love to do here. Number 1's Vandenberg, which you've seen on a couple previous 3rd downs already. Number 89. Number 2 is that play action with your fullbacks and your tight ends. Couple good early runs should affect some of the eyes of those defenders. They love the play passing down in distances such as this.
Iowa 3 for 4 so far in converting 3rd downs. Daniels checks in for Kanziri in the backfield, and they give it to him, and he's going to be short. He is pushed back. Stand-up defense by Sangapolu, leading the way in the middle. Sangapolu goes 6'2", 332 pounds. That's hard to do.
And that's the big man that you need if you're going to run this 3-4 scheme, and really impressive to be just a true freshman. And how about this call here? Conservative, just put 3 on the board. Not when you're on the road and not when you feel great about your quarterback. This decision is because of the confidence they have in CJ Beathard.
Iowa 3 for 4 so far this season, going for it on 4th down. Kanziri, the back, is split out to the left. Empty backfield. This is 4th and 2. Interesting call. Not there. Michael Caputo had the coverage on the tight end, Henry Krager-Coble, and Beathard couldn't hit him. Turn it over on downs.
A really good play there by the senior Caputo. They'll give you a little bit more liberty down here to put your hands on him as long as you don't totally impede the route. And the problem there was Krager-Coble stopped on his route. He's trying to run a little out and up. And if he would have continued to fight through that contact, well, he may have drawn the penalty, but by stopping, they're going to allow the redshirt senior Caputo to get away with that contact in the end zone.
Coach, how'd you like the call on 4th and 2 there?
I don't mind it. Now you got to stop him down here when you got him backed up.
Stave on the run, able to complete to Derek Watt. There are a couple of Watts on Wisconsin. We should get the Watt thing out of the way right now. It's so unfair to both Derek and TJ. Yeah, they're J.J. Watt's younger brothers. Absolutely. Nice to live up to that last name on the back of your jersey.
And Derek's a good player. He's very capable out of the backfield. They will spread him out in their empty sets. They will get him involved in the play pass, and obviously most comfortable with the contact and being the lead blocker.
And they probably can't go a minute without somebody asking about their brother. Of course, we just fell into that same trap. Perfect. Here's Deal on the right side. Nate Meyer brought him down. We'll see if that's the last play of quarter number 1.
So you asked about that decision earlier, right? A little bit of guts, a little bit of maybe the Kirk Ferentz school says on his little note cards, just kick the field goal and be 3-3. That's a trust in the quarterback, and it's also relying on a senior-laden defense that if I'm going to take that kind of risk, I'm going to need you to back it up. And credit Wisconsin here for getting out of the shadows of their own end zone and controlling the first quarter.
That's it for quarter number 1. Low scoring, hard-nosed, exactly what we expected. Second quarter on the way. Welcome back to ESPN College Football, presented by Cars.com. Never been great with capitals, but I do know Madison is the capital of Wisconsin, and that's where we bring you the Big Ten opener in the West Division. Handoff to Deal. He bangs ahead for a couple off the right side. Josie Jewell making the tackle. Gain of 4. Second down and 6. Deal stays in there as the lone setback. Stave looking to throw the whole way, and he throws it to the wrong team. It's Desmond King. And King is forced out at the 30-yard line. Desmond King, who already led the team with 3 interceptions, comes up with his 4th of the season.
And that's Stave's just third interception. I'll tell you what, Josie Jewell helps make this play. Team defense. Look at the middle linebacker. Push and push. And because he does his assignment and he gets underneath this route, it is going to affect where quarterback throws it. And he throws it right to King. How about a high school record in the state of Michigan? 29 career interceptions. He's one of the few DBs that actually catches it. Most of those guys are DBs because they were receivers that couldn't catch it. He was one that's been doing it a long time. And that's team defense. That's Josie doing his job underneath. That's King making the play. And that's Stave throwing one where he simply can't in his own end of the field.
King had 2 interceptions in the Pittsburgh game on the first 2 possessions by the Panthers. So great field possession now for Iowa. Looks like Beathard's changing the play at the line of scrimmage. And checks into a handoff to Kanziri. Has some running room, makes a cut. And he's brought down at the 11-yard line. 19-yard gain. Didn't look like that much was there.
It was a nice job. That's some of their ISO run here, and a really good block once again from his fullback in front of him. Just an isolation play and a one-on-one, and here's the difference too. McAvoy was their starting quarterback last year. He's been a receiver, he's been a safety, he's a Wildcat quarterback. I'll tell you what he's not on tape is a tackler. And I was asking Dave Aranda about that yesterday in our meeting. And he said, yeah, it's a work in progress. And those tackling drills as he tries to wear both hats offensively and defensively, work in progress.
On first down and 10, Kanziri again. Darius Hillary makes the stop. And this Wisconsin defense at some point, they've been on the field now an awful long time. It seems like Iowa's moving up and down the field without scoring.
Yes, they have, but most importantly, not scoring there is the critical one. No one scored a touchdown since Alabama opening weekend, and it was Alabama that ran all over them, as you can see, over this stretch. You give up 93 yards rushing in 3 games, you have a chance to pitch shutouts. That's what they've done.
Wisconsin has allowed just 3 points in their 3 home games. This is the 4th of a 4-game homestand. Quick screen out to the right, not going to get there. Vandenberg is shy of the first down marker. Bring up a 3rd and short.
You've already seen the 4th and 2 aggressiveness to go for it. Tried to run a little out and up. That falls incomplete. Last time on 3rd down, a little bit longer situation, tried the true freshman. This has got to be a run, I would think, either right at or heavy play action pass off.
3rd down and 1. And sneak. Beathard, the quarterback sneak. And he has the first down, but not 6.
Boy, this is amazing. Look at this clock, this first half, with 2 teams that love to possess the ball. They run it. Quarterbacks have been fairly efficient other than Stave's interception. And a chance here with just 3 minutes to go to halftime to really gain some of what coaches always talk about, that critical energy and momentum coming in and out of halftime.
3 tight ends now on 1st and goal. Off the play action, and he's going to throw it. And it's caught wide open. Was George Kittle for the touchdown. And Iowa's on the board. And that's the first touchdown allowed by Wisconsin now in the last 4 games.
One of the tells for me when I watch tape is quarterbacks' fundamentals, and especially in this play action game. And watch Beathard. He does such a wonderful job of closing that gap with Kanziri. That's what sets up some of that separation. We talked about it, team defensively executing the little details. Well, that time, a really good play action fake, closing that cushion with your running back, helps set up the easy pitch and catch.
And Kane boots it through. With everybody thinking run, play action works perfectly. 7-3 Hawkeyes. Back in Madison, the stadium is filled in rather nicely. Better than 80,000. You know, those college kids for an 11 a.m. local time start. That's rough. Great to be filling in for Bob Wischusen, along with Brock Eward and Shannon Spake. I'm Steve Levy. We asked earlier which 2 players have won the Heisman Trophy for Wisconsin. And the answers? And conveniently, they are side by side here at Camp Randall Stadium on the wall.
Kind of cool to see the Heisman trophies in the football offices yesterday. An enormous shot of J.J. Watt and the 2 Heismans of those 2 men that could tote the ball pretty well.
Ron Dane, his records still stand these days, and Alan Amici scored one of the And one of the most important touchdowns in pro football history. And that kickoff will bounce into the end zone.
It's either selfies or watch ESPN. That's really what it is all about in this day and age with the millennials.
Hey, they're enjoying a 7-3 lead. Listen, last week Wisconsin gave up 15 rushing yards to Hawaii. Iowa's got 101 rushing yards already today. We're not even at halftime. Stave sends the man in motion on 1st down and 10. Got pressure from the backside, didn't feel it, loose ball. And who's got it? The Iowa bench is going wild. Hawkeyes have the football. And a dramatic turn of events here at Camp Randall Stadium. Nate Meyer able to recover for Iowa after Drew Ott knocked it away. Stave didn't feel the backside pressure.
Well, Coach Farron said pretty clearly to us yesterday, this team has been defined by the senior class, and a couple seniors right on that edge making a difference. We saw Ott in the run game create a tackle for loss in a negative play. He did it with his hands, and he did it once again. He beats Merritt's right off the snap in the relentless motor of Meyer to never give up. He's been a tight end. He's been a fullback. He's been a linebacker. And now he's a D end. And those two, kind of just like Beagle and Schobert on the other side, those edge defenders making a difference for the entire defensive group.
Off the quick change turnover. They'll keep it on the ground. Kanziri bangs ahead for a couple.
Keep an eye on Vandenberg in the slot.
On 2nd and 6. Keep it on the ground.
So the only time they've broken some of their tendencies are down here in the red zone. And this has been a strength of theirs this season, been a little bit of a problem. 14 of 16, dominant in the red zone, coming in, scoring touchdowns. Missed field goal earlier, 4th down conversion goes the wrong way. And now another big 3rd and 4 situation. And this is where you love Beathard's dual threat capability. You can throw it on time. He's also been very good in these down and distances of keeping the play alive.
Crowd trying to urge on that defense. Better than 80,000 strong on a beautiful afternoon for the Big Ten opener. Now he's looking to take off. Beathard around the right side, now in trouble, and he'll just throw it away. And that throwaway in that situation, that's a good play.
That is a smart play, but you got to find that play clock. That's that teaching points why quarterbacks and coordinators typically before every game will walk the field. You'll find the play clock. It's not big here. And in fact, that student section is filled in that lower bowl end of it, but you've got to find the play clock. You can't afford to delay a game, that mental error in that situation.
And this can't be a sure thing. 33-yard attempt for Marshall Kane, who's already missed from 27, but this one is good. And that is it. That's the final play of the half. Iowa 10-3 lead. Shannon will talk with Kirk Ferentz. You'll hear that at halftime as we send you back to Adnan Burke, Danny Cannell, Joey Galloway. It's the Lexus halftime report.
Coach, I heard you say to your team before the start of the second quarter that they needed to finish the drives. What was the difference of one time they were able to get to the end zone?
You know, our guys are playing hard, and it's just, they've got a really good defense. They're tough to score on, but the guys are doing a good job working hard, and, we're going to have to keep playing here.
We heard you say many times yesterday how much trust you have in your quarterback because of the poise he's shown. What do you think about the way he's performed?
He's playing really well. They had the one pick. The backer was hiding out a little bit and jumped it, but he's doing a great job, and, it's going to be an exciting 30 minutes.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, Shannon.
Not a barn burner, but what'd you expect? Big Ten opener, 10-3 in favor of Iowa. And we remind you to stick around for jump around between quarters 3 and 4. We know you will. Steve Levy along with Brock Eward. And at 3-0 for a long time in that first half. I was wondering how the SportsCenter people were going to make a highlight out of this game, but then we had some. But this has gone exactly as you would have expected. I mean, exactly.
That's exactly right. Probably the one surprise is Iowa's ability to run the ball, and they've got as many rushing yards in that first half as Wisconsin gave up in their previous 3 games. But Kirk Ferentz said, hey, this is old school Big Ten. It's going to come down to turnovers. Whichever team can make the game-changing takeaways, and that's been Iowa defensively. It was team defense on that early pass from Stave in the second quarter. Desmond King does what he does best, the play-action pass to finish that off to Kittle. That led to the only touchdown we've seen, and Drew Ott coming back from that hyperextended elbow. It's been such a warrior for them. The sack fumble, Kane hits the gimme field goal, and it's 10-3. So everybody can point to takeaways and turnovers. I think Coach also knows his ability to run the ball and possess the ball important, and Wisconsin just 1 of 5 on 3rd down. Have to clean that up if they're going to dig out of this in the second half.
Look at that starting field position. That's mind-boggling. Who wouldn't want to start at the 49 every single time? All right. Iowa will get the football. Desmond King is back deep, and P.J. Rosowski puts it in the air. King will take it on a few hops at the 10. And weaving his way for some running room. He's out to the 23, and a whole lot of extracurricular out by the 33-yard line. Down to Shannon Spake.
Well, Steve, Coach Chris told me as he was coming out of that halftime locker room, you know, they knew coming into this game that everything that they were going to get, they were going to have to earn on the field, and they just haven't been able to do that on offense. They've had some 3rd and manageables, particularly in the red zone, just haven't been able to convert. That's something they absolutely have to do. Defensively, they've given up 99 yards on the ground. He said, we just have to play assignment football. We just have to do our jobs. Thank you, Shannon. Also from Shannon's report, a good indication that the wind has picked up a little bit. And we expected heavy winds here this afternoon. 10-3 to open up quarter number 3. Here's Beathard throwing on 1st down. And tried to be in the neighborhood of Matt Vanderberg, but not all that close.
And Beathard been near 70% this year, coming in at 68%. Just 5 completions now on 13 attempts on the afternoon. Some of that is wind. Some of that is, I think we've documented the lack of separation, and the fact that Vandenberg's got 4 of 5 of those completions, not a surprise. He will continue to be, as he was there coming out, the go-to guy for Beathard.
The 5 completions also interesting when you keep in mind that Beathard completed his first 15 passes against North Texas a week ago.
Tendency says pass.
We'll see what it is here early in the 3rd quarter. Beathard is belted down. Took a good shot. Joe Schobert got to him in a big way.
And it's a good thing Schobert got home, got the sack to end the first half, because this was a pretty well-designed, well-conceived screen pass that had a real opportunity, but that's the motor that Schobert shows. He'll play in the NFL, a really good, talented, explosive athlete. He will be a pass rusher at the next level. A senior walk-on that's been self-made, Steve.
Leading tackler on the team. And again, the walk-on thing, that just blows my mind. 3rd and 3 from their own 17. Good clean pocket for Beathard. He slammed it in there, and he's got it. 1st down. Who else? Matt Vanderberg, the junior from Brandon, South Dakota.
A perfect pass beats perfect coverage. You hear that said, and it's true. Vandenberg has been covered. These guys have been all over him. Hillary has been covering him. Shelton's been in his back pocket. But it really doesn't matter when you've got immense trust like Beathard does with Vandenberg, that even when covered, I'm going to trust that it will either be a completion, an incompletion, that there is no way it's intercepted.
And that's really an important 1st down out of the shadows of your goalposts. Now you take a shot. Why not? Sideline. And a flag comes late. Jacob Hillier was the intended target there. Is that a catchable ball? Tanner McAvoy on the coverage.
I do think it's a catchable ball, and that's a big-time arm in these windy conditions from Beathard to launch it about 55 yards down the field on the deep play-action pass. Capoto got away with it down in the end zone. You'll remember a lot of contact with the tight end, Coble.
Pass interference. Defense number 7. 15-yard penalty, automatic. 1st down.
And the point of emphasis I have learned from these back judges and side judges is if you start to really impede that route, and they're feeling there, and that's an iffy. I mean, that is a real iffy, and frankly, I don't throw that because I don't think it is impeding him. But that is what they're looking for. If you are reaching and grabbing early, and you impede Hillier's chance to go make that catch, you're going to draw the 15. That's iffy in my book at best.
Out to the 40 now with plenty of breathing room after just the latest Wisconsin turnover. Keep it on the ground and play it safe for Canzeri. Canzeri approaching 100 yards rushing. That'll put him up to 94 for the afternoon. Schobert brought him down.
But there's been a couple big penalties, and it was about this area of the field where the hands to the face earlier on Wisconsin. That was on Hesse. That time, unfortunately for Caputo, when you are in the open field and you've got that shot and that receiver's beating you and you start to reach and grab, you put yourself at least in a position to draw that penalty.
On 2nd and 8. Canzeri again. They'll be well shy of the first down. Put him in a 3rd and long. Darius Hillary there. As we look at the Capital One, this week's rankings. I guess it's the team with the yellow circle around it.
Well, TCU is destroying Texas, and there's some real trouble down in Austin. Ole Miss to me is an incredibly balanced team, and Chad Kelly's in my top 10 in my QB list, and they kind of laid a clunker last week against Vandy. My eyes will be on them tonight.
Iowa's been in the others receiving votes category the last 3 weeks. A win here in Madison, gotta think puts them into the top 25. Oh, Beathard was rocked, and he's intercepted. Michael Caputo makes up for it. On the interception, Schobert applying the pressure on Beathard, and it's the first turnover of the day, forced by Wisconsin. Badger football.
And what a wonderful blitz here. I was singing the praises of D coordinator Dave Aranda because of the ability to really destroy protections, and watch Schobert keep it tight. He puts his helmet right in the gut of Beathard and forces the high throw, and for the first time today, the Badgers get that critical takeaway, and they've got to make the Hawkeyes pay.
The Heartland Trophy in the house, designed and made by former Iowa player Frank Straub. Wisconsin has a 5-4 edge since they started playing for the trophy. They've won 3 straight, including last year, winning in Iowa City 26-24. Melvin Gordon went off in that game. All right, let's see if Wisconsin can get the boost off their first takeaway of the game. Hand it off to George Rushing, and turns the edge there. Desmond King bumping him out.
You will hear linebackers and defensive coordinators say all the time, fight for every inch. Watch Schobert here keep this stunt so tight to the line of scrimmage. That's why he's able to get his gut. It is, at times, a fraction of a second that makes the difference. And Schobert, both of these teams are so fundamentally sound, so much fun to watch. They're not exotic necessarily in what they do, but that attention to detail and that time, squeezing out every inch, critically important.
Stave hands it off to Taiwan Deal, and he'll come up very close to the first down marker. All right, keep us posted, thank you. Big 3rd and 1 play coming up here. Badgers just 1 for 6 3rd down conversions. It's Deal. Knifing through the defense, the first down and then some, all the way to the 40-yard line of Iowa.
And there was no messing around there from the redshirt freshman. That thing was north and south. They're just a power football. They ran that formation against Hawaii over and over and over again. The run game been a little harder to come by today versus the Hawkeyes, but a must 3rd and 1, and the redshirt freshman gets the pads down.
Deal, the Big Ten Freshman of the Week, off his performance from a week ago. 1st and 10 from the Iowa 40. Give it to him again. He's hot, why not? And Wisconsin starting to get the running game going as we send it down to Shannon.
And Steve, you know, one guy who's happy to see that running game going is Corey Clement. He's the junior running back who had sports hernia surgery this week. He's over in Germany having that surgery, but he's watching the game. He actually sent this picture to the team right before the game started. He's at a Champion Sports Bar in Munich, Germany, and you can see he has his Badgers jersey on, so you know he's rooting for these guys.
Thank you, Shannon. Off 2nd and 3. Won't pick up the first down there. The optimistic return date for Corey Clement. They're hoping for, well, Halloween, October 31st, when Rutgers comes here to visit. But again, that's the optimistic return date. Feel bad for Clay. The guy waited his turn, and this was supposed to be it for him. His season to really take over. And again, they need him. Star running back. 3rd and 4 now.
And remember, no Erickson, their go-to receiver.
Great point. Under the concussion protocol, is in the Badgers locker room. Stave steps up and throws and completes for the first down to the 25. It's Robert Wheelwright on a clutch catch and throw. Greg Maben on the coverage.
Well, you're picking on the right guy. After Kings picked you off on a couple different occasions, you better start trying the other corner. And that time, wheelwright, and you've seen him on third down a number of occasions. An out route, a slant route, that time getting just enough separation for one of the rare occasions, securing the catch and moving the sticks in third down.
Wheelwright's been targeted 8 times, catching 4 of them for 33 yards. Important 10 there. And that'll go for a loss. Agumbawale, nothing doing.
That's another really good play from Drew Ott, his buddy next to him as well. Budgeta, those two on that edge, 2 8-man high school football players. And actually Ott, the Nebraska Gatorade State Player of the Year, is an 8-man football player.
Tell me about 8-man. What are the other 3 guys?
There's not enough of them in the school. Those are small school guys, but big-time plays. The third one for Ott this afternoon.
Loss of 4 on that play. Here's 2nd and 14 now. Stave takes his time, surveys the field, and had a man wide open. And it just took too long to develop. Troy Fumagalli was the receiver, the intended target. He took a big hit. And there's question now, was it a clean hit? It was definitely a big hit separating player from ball.
And this is what the crowd's asking for, and they're seeing the replay. This is in the act of making a football play. That is a tight end going down, and in my opinion, Lomax, and his job is to separate. You don't see him targeting. He is trying to knock the football out, and 2 players that are ducking down to go down and make the play. There's the contact.
3rd and 19. You're going the wrong way, Wisconsin. That pass is completed. They go right back to Fumagalli, and that's great to see. He's able to hang on. They'll get some of the yardage back. Cole Fisher stops him well shy of the first down. Just a gain of 5.
But just the gain and avoiding the sack actually gives you a chance at 3 points. So a nice job there by Stave, limiting the damage, finding the completion, and setting up our guy Rafael up for the field goal.
Gaglianone, not even going to take a shot at it, huh? He's good from 46. He missed from 42. This from 46 again to make it a little closer. On the way, and it is good. Rafael Gaglianone gets it done. It's a 4-point game. Come on, Eward. Jack Russell will put it in the air. 10-6 Iowa with the football. 3 minutes and 40 seconds away from jump around. Out to the 21. We send it down to Shannon Smith.
Yeah, Steve, one thing we heard Coach Ferentz say this week is certainly about CJ Beathard's, his leadership, his poise. I've watched him on the sideline. You know, right after he addresses his offense, he gets up right onto the sideline, right against the line, helmet off, and cheering on this defense. He told me earlier this week that, you know, leadership is something that this team has not had in past seasons. He knew it was important to earn the trust of the coaches, and you can really see him doing that. It's one team, not 2 units for him.
1st and 25 now for Iowa. Good idea. Beathard will throw it. Or start to throw it, and he's taken down. That's got to be a coverage sack. Vince Beagle brought him down finally, but couldn't find anybody open.
That's exactly what it was, and there have been hard to gain separation down the field for these Hawkeyes, really for both teams. These receiving cores are challenged, to put it nicely, to get explosive plays, and finally Beagle says, enough out of you, Schobert. I'm the other impact player in this game. I can get home as well. 2nd team all-conference last year, led the team in sacks. That 1-2 punch, awfully difficult to stop.
What are you dialing up, Coach, on 2nd and 26? Draw?
Patience.
Quick screen, they set it up nicely, and it just worked out. They got it to Kanziri down the sideline. Beathard took a shot, was able to get it away. Schobert got to him again. 3rd and 13. Trying to get Loud and Madison. Good protection again. Beathard going deep. Had a man. Had Germanique Smith, had a step, and couldn't drop it in.
How many times has that young freshman been targeted now? He's been targeted a bunch. They have tried to find Germanique because he does have some of that explosive speed. And I'll tell you, you see the difference between a junior throwing to a junior. Right in Beathard and Vandenberg. Beathard and his tight ends, he is just off, and that's now a couple different occasions where Smith's given him an opportunity, and they can't connect.
Some more pressure, but Dylan Kidd able to get it away. Sojourn Shelton able to receive the punt there. And we find ourselves in what we thought was a low-scoring game, but you didn't think it'd be 10-6 at this point.
Pretty close to it. I think the wind's playing a factor.
Yep.
I think you're seeing some impact defensive players, Schobert and Beagle and King on the other side.
3 missed field goals.
And 3 missed field goals, 4 turnovers combined. I mean, not the prettiest game, but typically how this looks between these two. And Wisconsin's owned it, at least recently, but every one of them has been close, just like this one.
And in this west side of the Big Ten, this is the way it's going to be won in the end.
And probably no surprise, it's going to be really won by who makes the defining plays in the final 15 minutes.
On 1st down and 10. Oh, big stick right at the 30-yard line. And then the flag comes. A little too much hitting by that Iowa defense. The first stick was fine. It was when the other 10 guys joined the party.
After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense number 13. 15-yard penalty, automatic, 1st down.
And I think, unfortunately, Maben was just along for the ride. It was really his buddy Jaleel Johnson from the inside. But once you start to throw that guy down after the whistle, 15-yard penalty, some big 15-yard penalties against the Hawkeyes here in the last 5 minutes of play.
Yeah, it was a really clean first half regarding the yellow handkerchiefs, but they've come out here in the second half. Ogunbowale out of the backfield. Very close to getting that all back for a 1st down. Another 1st down out at the 45-yard line, just a yard shy.
And that's been effective, and remember that in the final 15 minutes. Play callers love to write little notes. You've seen Ferentz do it on the other side with mistakes, but I guarantee you Christ has seen the opportunities to just get those checkdowns, find those guys underneath. That will come into play in the 4th quarter.
Iowa, Wisconsin, Big Ten opener for both. Coming up on likely the final play of quarter number 3. Deal trying to make it a big play. Gang tackled. You see where they mark the forward progress, probably to the 35 of Iowa. Gain of 10 on that play. After the 1st down, the clock stops, and we'll see when they wind it. They'll let it go, and we are mere seconds away from jump around. Don't you worry, we'll give you a little taste and feel of that. Brock's never experienced it. We'll get his take when we come back. 4th quarter on the way. Jump around. You don't really have a choice. You almost have to jump around because the building is swaying. Camp Randall on the move. They just did the traditional jump around. It's been going on here since 1998 between the 3rd and 4th quarters. Usually have a celebrity introduce it. This time was Frank Kaminsky, now with the Charlotte Hornets, but of course with Wisconsin's famed basketball team. They went to the championship game a year ago. On 1st and 10.
In the fall of 1995, when I was a redshirting freshman, that's the last time I felt what I just did. There was an earthquake in Seattle. You know, we get a few of those every once in a while, and my dorm room shook like we just shook.
Right.
That was pretty cool. That was a lot cooler than the earthquake in 95, I will tell you that.
This one not as scary. No, that's one of the neat traditions. And you know, there's only one of them, right? They're the only ones to do it.
Yep.
It's very hard to find individual traditions where no one else copies it or does that. They've got that here at Camp Randall. Wheelwright got just turned around on the toss from Stave there. Back to Adnan.
Steve, thank you. Galloway and Canal all over the House of Pain jump around. Christian Hackenberg also is fired up. He goes to Mike Gesicki here. 33 yards, longest touchdown pass this season for Hackenberg. Penn State up 20-14. Steve?
Adnan, thank you. 3rd down and 8. Conversions have been an issue. 3 of 9 so far for Wisconsin. That and the turnovers have been the Badgers' problem this afternoon while they're trailing 10-6. Underway 4th quarter action from Madison. Stave had a man and hung it up a little too long. Wheelwright was the intended target. Maven on the coverage.
Yeah, the challenge here is that's back-to-back plays where you get exactly what you want. The first one was a corner route. This one, Wheelwright actually does a good job of getting back on top of Maven. And that ball is just woefully underthrown. It's the inconsistencies, unfortunately, for Stave in the passing game that even in his 5th year, have still proved to be a problem.
And they're going to punt this football. At least they're in punt formation anyway. Desmond King is standing at the 9-yard line. Drew Meyer on the punt. Has not had one blocked this season. And a little pooch kick. And it will be down at the 5-yard line. Works out to be an excellent punt. Darius Hillary, the man to stop it dead at the 5. We'll be right back. 1st and 10. That student section for Wisconsin trying to make some noise here now. Handoff to Kanziri. And he's out across the 5. Chris Orr made the stop.
That's been one of the hidden differences in this game. Everybody can easily look to the takeaways, and it's 3-1 advantage, and typically you win if you are +2, and you can see that wind whipping down on the field with Beathard's sleeves whipping in the wind. But their ability to consistently run it, and you know what first down run success means. Chew up more clock, and 80 to 90% of the time a run in this situation.
Kanziri, 20 rushes for 106 yards, and he'll look to add to that. He's got the first down. We have Adnan Ver.
It's all we can get, right, Steve? I know. Here's what we got. West Virginia is taking on Oklahoma with Skylar Howard and Johan Durante. 10 points in less than 3 minutes. So here comes Dana Holgerson's team. A fantastic catch by Durante. 7-point game. Back to you.
I mean, given the choice, I would prefer the first down to Adnan, but on 2nd down, you're an excellent choice. Here's 1st and 10 now. It's Kanziri again. Keep feeding him. And you're right, run some of that clock with a 10-6 lead. Darius Hillary made the stop along with Chris Orr. No relation to Bobby.
Doing a really nice job, Kanziri is, of just not messing around and doing a good job up front. And Butker in particular, not calling his name and giving him credit. The right tackle, first-year starter, they are targeting these Badgers really well. Getting a hat on a hat. You've seen a lot of secondary defenders have to get involved at both safety and corner to finish the tackles. And again, another run situation here, checking away.
Sorry, Brock, give Kanziri a breather and get Daniels in there and hand it to him. Vince Beagle the stop, and a 3rd down upcoming after the gain of 3.
Big 3rd down. About 2 minutes more than likely worth of time of possession right here on whether you convert and stay alive.
3rd and 2 is a lot you can do here. 5 for 12 on the afternoon is Iowa. Off the play action and the quick pass and an even quicker tackle. They went to Adam Cox. Let's see where that spot is. That's very close to the first down marker. Michael Caputo made the tackle. And they're going for it.
And you know what, Steve?
Yep, tell me.
Play to win. Play to win.
4th and an inch from their own 25 and a half with a 4-point lead.
Push the pile. Right call.
And it is the first down.
And you know what else you don't have? You don't have an immense amount of fear, because you know what Kirk's watched for 3+ quarters? A defense that's limited Wisconsin to 2 field goals.
Right behind Austin Blythe. The big man in the middle, the center, the senior center for Iowa. And they got it with maybe inches to spare. Just inches, though. Keeps the clock rolling. Fresh set of downs. Beathard looked like he wanted to take a shot there. Now he loses the football. Ball is out. Wisconsin says they have it. And they do. Joe Schobert recovers. TJ Edwards knocking it away from CJ Beathard. How about those two back-to-back plays?
Schobert's the best player on this field. We knew it watching the tape yesterday. He's the one that comes around with the relentless energy. And I told you earlier on his little line stunt, right, where he fights for every inch. Well, he also has the awareness when Beathard has that ball flailing around to not just tackle the quarterback. You rip it out of his hands. He chases it down. Schobert's a good one. And Beathard's going to learn from that to have a sense of ball security when you leave the pocket, when you've got a difference maker like Schobert on your tail.
Third time this season, Schobert has forced a fumble. Now, what will Wisconsin do with the opportunity? From 1st and 10 at the Iowa 26. Hand it off to Derek Watt. Out to the 25. Jordan Lomax stopped him. Gain of 3 for Watt.
Whoever plays the hardest, the longest, typically wins. Schobert forces the fumble. He's not doing his sack dance and his celebration. No, he goes and chases it down. And look at all the rest of the guys fighting in the pile. And there's nasty stuff in that pile, Levy. They're scratching, clawing, biting, fighting.
Really, a lot of quarterbacks down in the middle of that pile?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I made a living doing that. Tough guy in the pile.
Here's 2nd and 7 now. 3 receivers out to the right. Stave's looking across the middle. And completes to Austin Traylor. His 2nd grab of the afternoon.
His 2nd grab on exactly the same play call. Trips opposite of Traylor, giving him an opportunity with that big body at 6'4", 245 to get inside that safety. And those are the kind of throws Stave is much more comfortable with. Between the numbers, not outside the numbers. And Wisconsin's going to try to do what Iowa did earlier on their takeaways, and that's convert into points.
It's been rather quiet this afternoon by Camp Randall standards. Maybe something for those Wisconsin fans to cheer about. Stave is tripped up. Was he tripped up by the official, or he just lost his footing there?
It's called the turf monster, and it wins.
It bit him. How about that Iowa defense? They have not allowed a rushing touchdown all season. Iowa and Navy, the only teams in the country who can make that claim. Stave, look, eyes got real wide there. Looked like he had a lot of green in front of him. Here's 2nd and 7 now. Little inside pitch. Stave would have been better off keeping that himself. Nate Meyer came up to apply the lumber on Dare Oguale.
You're anticipating Meyer and Ott there getting upfield. Right, the 2 seniors are going to be anxious to do something to create their own play, and instead tremendous patience and discipline by Meyer, setting up an enormous and biggest 3rd down to date.
Oguale, single setback to the right of Stave on 3rd and 7. See if a 4th down decision has to be made here, trailing by 4. Stave in and out of the hands, and there is a flag. Jazz Peavy looked like he had it and couldn't hang on. Desmond King on the coverage, and that time King might have been flagged. As the officials huddle.
Ooh, and that is close. He's running the route better than Peavy does. He just has a little bit of contact, and we have seen this today.
See the reaction from King.
Pass interference. Defense number 14. The ball replaced. Spot of the foul. Automatic. First down.
Well, he knows it because he's running the route. You see it. He's anticipating that route, but that arm is just wrapped around a little bit early.
Gives Wisconsin the 1st down. 1st and goal for the 4. Deal trying to break the plane. Not on that play.
just what this was supposed to come down to, right? With 8 minutes to go, you want it to come down to 22 guys in a phone booth, and that's what it's going to be.
Yes, sir.
You can see 71% to winning typically football.
First time in the red zone, though, this afternoon. Fumble, loose ball, and it's still out. All sorts of problems with the exchange. Iowa says they have it.
Micah Kapoy, the right guard, the redshirt freshman making the third start of his career, is going to get his big, probably size 15 at 330 pounds. Stepped on the foot of Stave. You'll see it when we come back. But what an amazing turn of events on now the 7th turnover of this one today.
Apparently didn't want a close-up.
Same sounds are making in the student section after that fumble.
Wow.
Holy smokes.
Brutal break for Wisconsin. Self-inflicted pain, we'll show that to you. But here's Iowa now on 1st and 10. Handoff, gets themselves some breathing room, and the clock continues to roll. So I said self-inflicted.
A fifth-year senior has to erase problems, not compound them. The redshirt freshman Kapoy, the right guard, steps on Stave. You can see it really clearly here. He steps on his foot as he's getting out and away from center. But you know what you do if you're a fifth-year senior? You eat it. You don't further the issue and the problem and take that kind of risk 3 feet away from pay dirt.
2nd and 6. On the ground, Akanziri. Back in Madison for a 3rd and 2. Iowa 4-0 for the first time in 6 years. They last started 5-0 in 2009, trying to get back to 5-0 today. Big play, off the play action. And in all sorts of trouble. Beathard able to get it away. The incomplete pass. Joe Schobert has been pressuring him all game, and that play no different.
Schobert and Caputo, two seniors. That's what you would expect in matchups and rivalry games like this. Schobert has been unbelievable all over the quarterback today. And Caputo on the back end is seeing, he's reading, he's diagnosing. He's making it really difficult on Beathard and Iowa.
Dylan Kidd, the kid of John, who punted in the NFL for some 15 years. Sojourn Shelton, the return man for Wisconsin. Here's Stave throwing across the middle into plenty of traffic, and it's still brought down by Troy Fumagalli. Fumagali's 3rd reception, and a big catch there for 13.
Now, this is the one personnel grouping, the one matchup that you are liking, and that is a phenomenal pitch and catch. Can't cover it any better. Iowa knows what's coming. These teams know exactly what's run at them. That's why we've seen 16 points and 6 takeaways by these defenses. But big time on 1st and 25 to get 12 of it back.
Clock starting to become a factor with 4 minutes left here in the 4th quarter. Too high. Off the hands of Jazz Peavy, and Peavy was wide open. And there was some running room for him if he could have brought that one down.
Stave took this one right in the ribs. The famous double-A gap blitz. I know you love calling that on Sports Center. The double-A gap blitz right there gets home. The pick earlier from Beathard, right when he took that shot from Schobert. And that time Stave takes the shot, and King nearly comes down with his 3rd.
3 of 10 now, 3rd down conversions. This is 3rd and 13. That'll be 4-down territory here. You do have all 3 timeouts remaining, but still. Here's Stave. The pocket collapses around him, and he is dropped to the 40-yard line. Cole Fisher, who had 2 sacks previous, will add to that total.
No, I don't think so, Steve. I would disagree just because of this right here. Because of the 3 timeouts, the takeaways that you've created, and now the negative play, you have to punt this down. You have seen 3rd down aggressiveness from these Hawkeyes all day. Phil Parker, he liked his defense coordinator coming in. He's really loving the team ball they're playing on that side.
And to be dropped for 15. Well, I wasn't counting on a sack for 4 down territory. Figured they'd get back 5 or 6.
Hawkeyes.
3:16 to play in the fourth. The good one. We'll watch for that tonight. Here this afternoon. How many first downs can Iowa get, if any at all? Kanziri is stopped there. Loss of 1 on the play.
And the media timeout from the sidelines with Christ, and it's been a hard go. Kanziri, 100-yard day, but it has been absolutely as advertised. Defense first, very physical on both sides of the ball. And when you've got 2 teams challenged on the perimeter, and that's putting it nicely. With the injury to Devon Smith, unfortunately for Iowa, they lose one of their game breakers. Erickson goes down early in this game with an apparent head injury for Wisconsin. And you can see it. These guys in the front 7 and the secondary defenders, these safeties are flying in saying, yeah, I've got you playing in a box right now offensively. I'm not even scared of anything you're doing on the perimeter. But equally, Steve, if I'm CJ Beathard right now, I'm saying this is my moment.
Big Ten opener for both. Iowa 4-0. Wisconsin 3-1. It's the 4th game of a 4-game homestand for Wisconsin, having won the previous 3. Lost the opener to Alabama. Handoff to the left. Kanziri is ball out. Schobert. The big hit there.
Boy, Schobert can really do it all. Tremendous in his pass rush, equally good in the run game as well. Wisconsin burns their final timeout, and the last thing you want to do on the road is give that hometown team the ball up.
We've heard about all that swelling of confidence from Beathard. Here's another opportunity. Want to be the man? Got a chance to be the man. And instead he's dropped by the man on the other side. Joe Schobert continues to put on a show here in Madison today. Wow.
There's an arrogance right now in some of this pass protection. And we heard that yesterday. And unfortunately, you can't leave Schobert in a one-on-one. Your back has to chip. There has to be a tight end. You can't let one guy take an entire half over, and that's what Schobert has done today.
I'm by no means making a comparison, but the Wisconsin jersey helps. He's had a J.J. Watt kind of impact, at least, in this football game. I mean, he's in everybody's face all the time. Sojourn Shelton from the 40, trying to turn the corner. Crunch time here in Madison, or winning time. 2:45 to play, 4th quarter. Wisconsin out of timeouts. And Stave skips that one to Derek Watt. You can hear the moans and groans from the crowd. Second down and 10. Tough, you need your quarterback to make a big play here, but confidence level cannot be high at this point. And you see it on the throws. Handing it off there. Jaleel Johnson made the stop.
You challenge that first down pitch and catch. I mean, that's something that you got to complete 99 out of 100 times. And I know it's windy, but it doesn't get any easier than that. And then you run it, and now you put Iowa into their blitz situation. Now you know exactly what you're going to get. You're going to get press coverage, and they're going to try to force that early throw, and they've hit you and hit you constantly in these downs.
Stave, pressure coming late, and lofts it in perfectly to Reggie Love. Just what the doctor ordered for Wisconsin. Gain of 26.
And some rare miscommunication here between Neiman and the safety. This group has played so well on the back end, and you can see it. Lomax is yelling there at Neiman. This is team football. That more than likely should have been a man coverage situation when Neiman running under that route. At least Lomax was expecting it. Instead, a huge third down conversion for the Badgers.
Back to the ground game. Ogunbowale. And he's out close to a first down. Cole Fisher knocked him down. Stave is a guy who has bounced back from adversity. Started as a redshirt freshman, broke his collarbone. Next season, started all season, hurt his shoulder. Next season, lost his job, and has come back to get the job back. So he has bounce back ability, and he can still win this game for Wisconsin. On 2nd and 7 now. The check down, and there was plenty of running room. Ogunbowale saw that room too. Took his eyes off the ball.
That's the beauty of this game, and this is why you hear coaches talk all the time. It's not about that last play. It's about the next one. And you have to flush the negative plays. It's supposed to be one of the greatest strengths of this kid. It's what this staff who knew him early in his career loves about him now, the composure to keep it cool. And no matter how many interceptions or how poorly you play for 58 minutes, it's about the final 70 that will define everything.
Here's 3rd down. Stave has a man, but he's short of the 1st down marker. Fumagalli is bumped out by Cole Fisher.
And this is where you got to keep your cool. Doesn't matter that the clock is running. There is still plenty of time. This 4th down call is everything. Make sure everybody's on the same page. Even though the hometown faithful, you can hear some of the panic.
A lot of shifting. This is 4th and 2. Here's your ball game. As of now, 4th and 2. Incomplete. Was looking for Fumagalli. Cole Fisher on the coverage, and Wisconsin has turned it over on downs, out of timeouts with 36 seconds left.
And you can see the frustration. They get what they want. You knew you were going to get man-to-man coverage. You got it across the board, and you can see the route. Fumagalli is coming out. Throws a little early. Head's not around. Miscommunication. Perfect picture of what this whole entire game largely has been in the passing game. We knew it wouldn't be complicated coming in. So it can be about some exotic scheme that was going to win it. When push came to shove and it was 4th and 2, you know what it was? Man to man. And can you execute? Can you get out of your break? Can you put the ball right where you need to put it? The answer, no, for Wisconsin, and because of it, Kirk Ferentz is moving to 5-0.
It has been 5 years since Iowa won a road game against a nationally ranked team. They won in Ann Arbor, beat Michigan 38-28 on October 16th of 2010.
You'll see prettier football over the course of a season. You absolutely will. But as far as a group that's together, that believes they're different than their predecessors, look out, Big Ten West. A big, huge win on the road in a place and against a team you haven't beaten since 2009. That's going to do nothing but instill a whole bunch of confidence in those Hawkeyes.
5-0 is really good looking right now. 10-6 Iowa wins down to Shannon Spake.
Well, Coach, it wasn't pretty, but a win is a win. What did you see out of your guys, especially in this last minute?
Well, you know, first of all, for me, it was a pretty game. I thought it was beautiful. So any win we get is good. Coming up here is always tough. They've got an excellent team. So our guys were just, they played hard. It wasn't clean, but we played hard.
You talked about trust, having trust in this group of guys. Where did that grow here today?
You know, they've responded. They've showed up every week to play hard. They practice well. You know, we were fortunate to win today, but I'll tell you what, we're not turning it down either. We're happy as could be. The guys just competed hard.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, Shannon.
All right, Shannon. How about that homecoming next week for Iowa? Get Illinois. Hawkeyes are going home with a Heartland Trophy and a 5-0 record. They win in Madison. Beat Wisconsin on opening day in the Big Ten. Now we send it to the college football scoreboard.